For some reason, I pause my recording, so I have to go through the surface FX once again. So instead of going through all of those layers, I'm going to let you see me messing around in the full process. And it's just, you know, a matter of playing with textures. So I'm going to go quickly through what all of those groups are doing. So first, what I did was to closely look at some of those paintings. And those two ones, I found them on the internet in a super high resolution, like 11,000 pixel wide. So they were really great to study the surface details. So I tried to decide the different kind of damage that you could find. And there is cracks. These are the more abused. Sorry for that. Okay, cracks, and there is also those kind of you know, scratches. They seem to change the quality of the painting from glossy to matte. There is those tiny bit of dust. No canvas damages. So from here, I've started to try to reproduce this on the painting. And I've been playing, you'll see there is all of those layers you can go through. But I've tried to separate all of this in separate folders, which are some canvas textures, but I don't mean the texture of the fabric of the canvas, but more of the surface itself, because maybe it's been folded on itself at some points during transportations. So this is what I try to emulate in here. Okay. Then I have a folder with damages in it. Maybe on here, these are like dust and mostly dust and crap on top of the painting. And then there is the cracks. And the cracks are very easy to do. And I've created those textures. One is by hand using a pattern adjustment layer. You'll see me do that in the full process. And the other is using the amazing Filter Forge procedural filter. And I found a nice crack filter on the internet, on their library, because once you subscribe to the, or you buy the library, the license, you can either subscribe for 3 months or buy the license, and you have access to a huge library of filters that you can download for free. So you don't have so much to create filter by yourself. Pretty much anything you can think of is already in there. So these are the cracks. And those filters, those layers here are just about adding just a few variations. This is a second layer of a rough canvas texture. Here it is. And some dust and scratches. And those dust and scratches are more visible. From what I saw, I decided to put them mainly in the dark areas. because in other areas I didn't wanted to have too much noise there. So I'm just going to quickly do one of those just for you to see how I'm doing that very quickly to add this kind of 3D look to those textures, and it would work for any texture you want to have a directive light on it. It's quite easy. You just create layer. For example, let's create a canvas texture real quick. So I'm going to fill that layer with white. Go into filter, render, fibers. Okay. You can randomize if you want. Okay. Fill that layer. Now this is too dense. I want to have wider fibers. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, just turn it around. Put it on multiply. Merge. And here I have a nice canvas texture, like a cotton canvas. Control A, Control C, delete that layer. Create a solid color layer, which is less expensive on memory. Control V to pass the texture in the layer mask. So here we have it. Now I'm going to lower the fill, so we don't see the actual pixel informations in it, and open the layer property. Add a bevel filter with the correct light direction. Okay, it's on chisel hard. That's the last layer that I use. You can play with the depth, with the size. And here you have your canvas texture with 2D direction, and you can at any time, if you decide to keep it like that, you can at any time come back, and if you had all of your layers with the bevel and boss filters in a non-destructive manner, you can just at some point just change your global light direction, and it's going to change the global light direction of all of your layers, which is very, very cool. And when you're happy with your texture and you don't want to be too hard on your computer, you can just right-click and rasterize layer style. And now you're going to have all of those informations thanks to the solid color. You'll have all this baked into one layer. And now it's the moment where you can just put a layer mask and just start to paint in that layer mask to reveal that texture whenever you want to have it. So here we are. I think this image is not completely finished. As I mentioned, I think there is too much noise in here. There is some tangent I want to resolve, maybe here, this one. With that line and this line, they make a tangent. I want to get rid of that. Maybe here, it's not very clear where that line, where it belongs. I think I'll have to tweak the values of the underlying, of the underneath cushion. Well, I'm sure there is a ton of things that I could do to improve this painting, but at that point, I'm just going with you later on to make a quick review of this image and do a few tweaks and call it done. So thanks, and see you in the next chapter.